I'll be reaching out more frequently for a while to better navigate this complex situation we find ourselves in. Life is stressful for everyone, regardless of their circumstances, but it's necessary for me to take the lead in this situation. Michael, our son, may not be entirely truthful about certain matters. The question is, why? I've caught him in a few untruths that later came to light. His sudden change in attitude after 2 weeks of consistent communication with me, coinciding with your brother's visit, raises questions. His comment about me being in rehab seems like new information, likely from your brother, not your deceased parents. I'm puzzled as to why you share my personal matters with your bro. I don't ask what's up with his life. You know well he is going to give my son the 411 with a negative spin. You should be unsettled that an 11-year kid shouldn't be hearing rated R content. Think about that for a minute. I'm growing increasingly concerned about your brother's influence on Michael. His rejection of his own father's ashes, yet willingness to benefit from his wealth, speaks volumes about his character. I worry about the impact of his values and behavior on our son. I wouldn't rule it out that he and my son talk on the phone now about everything. He's a cop, remember that. Don't be gullible. I get it, he's your family and you may become defensive, but you should prioritize our son's mental being and be realistic over your brother's fragile ego. I respect Michael's need for space, but it's hard to understand his feelings or the situation when our communication is limited. I'm not one to chase someone who avoids me, but Michael is my son and I love him. The anger and resentment brewing in Michael is palpable, and it's deeply unsettling that I cannot express my side or vindicate myself because he won't allow me the opportunity. Reflecting on our past, the cheerful boy with googly eyes who used to call me Dada and run into my arms is no more. The fracture in our relationship feels irreparable. I've even toyed in the past with the idea of just focusing and starting my new life, marrying and having more children. Yet, the thought of holding another child instantly brings to mind my firstborn. Our situation reminds me of 50 Cent and his estranged son. Despite his fame and fortune, 50 Cent couldn't mend his relationship with his first son, leading to public humiliation and rejection. I feel a similar pattern in our situation. The public turned against him and eventually sided with 50 Cent, and he moved on, finding joy with another child and seeming to lead a fulfilling life. The son then tried to reach out to his father and rekindle after bashing him repeatedly at 25 years old. The back and forth between the two and the baby mama went viral. But 50 in the end didn't respond after the son budged. As a father being from Jamaica, Queens like 50 Cent, I can understand where he's coming from and can relate. I'm responsible for my wrongdoings and committed to rectifying them. But it's not just my task. Michael needs to understand that both of us and our families contributed to his situation. You need to be honest with my son and let him know what role you played as well and owned it, just like I own my mistakes. He's only 11 and he's already saying he ain't trusting either of us. Wait till he's an adolescent, you'll be hitting me up on a regular. Riddle me this, Nina, how the hell am I going to control that beast of a teen if I don't tame him now while he's still a cub? If I don't gain Michael's respect and authority, how can I influence him positively? I might have to step back for a moment and give him tough love. You need to have an open discussion with him. If I kiss up to him, I lose. If I give up, he's screwed. As much as I love him, I realistically don't need him. However, he needs me on so many levels that you can't even imagine. Without my leadership, Michael is at a statistical disadvantage. Let's face the facts. 1. Incarceration. 85% of youths in prison come from fatherless homes. 2. School dropout. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 3. Homelessness. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 4. Suicide. 60% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. 5. Behavioral disorders. 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. 6. Drug and alcohol abuse. 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. 7. Teen pregnancy. Daughters of single parents without a father involved are 711% more likely to have children as teenagers. As I was writing this yesterday, I was watching a podcast by Patrick Bet-David. One of the guests said, "Don't ever underestimate how powerful telling the truth is." ITS, an unbelievable powerful thing to stand up and tell the truth, and it's an unbelievable damaging thing to bite your tongue when you know what the truth is. Our son has been told some truths, but when you don't tell the whole story, that's deception, and deception is a lie. Part of me is considering stepping back and letting Michael find his own path, even if it's influenced by less productive lessons from your family. Without your cooperation and a child who seems indifferent to my well-being, it feels almost futile to continue. I often think about the things I want to teach him, like AI, but without your support, it's challenging. Families from Indian, Jewish, and Chinese backgrounds often prioritize education and community, leading to their success in America. If your family could work together like them, the potential is enormous. But it's like leading a horse to water. I can't make it drink. I need to focus on my own life, my goals, and my journey, irrespective of whether Michael is part of it or not. Life moves forward, and I need to keep pace. I've spent 15 years of my life on this, including 11 with my son, and the only reason I don't regret it is because of Mayim. I could have been a totally different man, no bottles, or not to excess, graduate with honors, house, cars. I already drove over 30 different cars in 3 years. Traveled the world like I almost did back in 2014. But without your cooperation and a child who could care less about me or my well-being because he was not brought up like that, it's almost pointless for me to continue. I'm not saying I'm giving up, but I've seen what it has done to other fathers with teenage kids that I never told you about. Let's face it, I don't have cooperation from no one, and you're a weak, careless, naive grown woman. I don't want my son at my deathbed if all he cares about is the bag. Like your bro. I know when he gets older, he will reflect. I've seen so many interviews and biographies plus people I've observed. By then I'm going to be already living my own life, and I might not even take him seriously. Remember, these are my thoughts and feelings in the moment, raw and unfiltered. I am not typically one to express my emotions so openly, but these are extenuating circumstances. I think about how I could have chosen my words differently with my 11-year-old son. It's a tough job to communicate with an emotional and angry boy with masculine energy. I rarely get to talk to him, so I had to make the most of these rare opportunities. I might have lost the battle, but I didn't lose the war. I'm confident that if I were to engage with him again, I would have a totally different strategy that would be effective. But if that conversation doesn't happen, we'll never know how it could change the course of history. Trust me, I'm well prepared for a conversation and this time I'll take the W, but I'll try some other tactics. My mind is a house, trust me, valor, honor, and realness lives here. Like it or hate it, this are the cold facts. It's up to you how you process this information. As the old saying goes, you can't change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails to always reach your destination. Remember to move in harmony.
Nobody tell us it was fair. No love for my daddy cause the coward wasn't there. He passed away and I didn't cry cause my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger. They say I'm wrong and I'm heartless, but all along I was looking for a father, he was gone.
My name is William Garland. I'm the biological father of Tupac Shakur. Oh, I brought it up. Why did you say that I was dead? And that ended the conversation. Well, but I ain't lie. I've never lied to him or Fahmy or anyone else. I never said anything that wasn't true. I might have did some fucked up shit, but I never lied. And I wanted to talk to him, and she sat between me and him. To the life of me, I didn't understand what was going on, but hey, she's been on the scene. She got a right to sit next to her son. But when I look back on it, and I guess she just maybe wanted to know what I was going to say to him or what he was going to say to you, and found out later in life that, like I said, they had heated arguments to the day he died, that she did not tell him the truth about his father.
I had to rebuild my life over with $6,700 a month.
Marquise, I know you feel like
Fuck, this nigga is crazy. He's 25 years old. Why you still talking about child support? I was $5,000 a year when it was with me. That's why I sent his mother to child support, because the bitch thought that she was supposed to get that much more, she wanted more. I told that motherfucker nothing.
how men think when a kid is raised with their mother and the father and the mother has an issue. If a kid acts a certain way, the men will automatically think that the kid is being influenced by the mom. And that's why we try to separate the issue. So if a father's talking to a son and trying to get him to relate to him, not saying that he has to, trying to get him to relate to him, wants him to understand a perspective from a man. Ever cheated before, Miss Shaniqua?
On Marquise's dad, yes.
You cheated. You cheated before?
That's like accountability. I'm looking at you, Flip. I've cheated. Yes.
Oh, you cheated on him, Miss Shaniqua. That's it. It's a wrap. You cheated. That's it. You cheated on him, Miss Shaniqua. That's it, Miss Shaniqua. Don't laugh. Don't smile. I don't know you. You have a nice smile. You cheated. That's it. You cheated on him.
I cheated. Okay, but
crossed the line.
So
you crossed the line. That's it. That's it. That's it. You crossed the line.
But saying that, but he wanted to be with me after that, so it didn't cross the line.
It don't matter. You still crossed the. See, then you gonna get with the shots. You cheated. That's it.
Well, shit happens.
Oh shit! Miss Shaniqua standing on square. Miss Shaniqua.
Right. See, that's the thing. You don't know me. You don't have a.
You
people
still cheated,
don't know me.
You still cheated, girl.
I did. I own it. I take it. I did. I'm not smiling. Like it wasn't funny.
Let me see. Let me see your face. Let me see your face. Let me see your face.
No, what I'm saying to you is
let me see your face.
I never would have cheated. He at that point in time in my life, he was my be all and end all, and that's just to be anybody who knows us and knows how close we were. Everybody knows how I felt about him. Everybody knows how he felt about me. Like it wasn't like that.
Right now, girls that's getting $200 a month.
If I told you right now, right, you got to start your life over right now with $6,700 a month and rebuild your life.
Yes.
Can you do it?
With $6,700, I can. $6,700. I'm good.
That's what I'm
month,
saying.
nigga.
I'm comparing it to yourself.
Detail when it comes to the strain in their relationship, and how at its core it has a lot to do with the mother and how she raised their son. 50 claims that she raised Marquise in a way that made him very spoiled and entitled, basically thinking that he deserves everything to come easy to him in life on a silver spoon, and that he should not have to work hard for absolutely anything.
Like many kids from his generation, Marquise has always been into sneakers. Because he's my son, he couldn't just rock any old sneakers either. If a new pair of Jordans came out, he had to have them right away. If Marquise asked for a pair of Jordans on Monday, his mother would make sure they were on his feet by Tuesday. It still didn't make him happy. Instead of being excited to rock his new pair of Jordans, all Marquise could think about was all of the retro Jordans he didn't have. When he should have felt gratification, all he really felt was disappointment. I could not relate.
Now tell him how you told my son to call me and tell me he need 50 pairs of sneakers for back to school.
I did not say that.
You said he said somebody else got a whole bunch of pairs of sneakers.
He said a boy in his class started on him and said he has 50 pairs of sneakers. And Marquise said, how the hell does he have 50 pairs of sneakers? And his father's a lawyer, my dad's on the board's list.
Yeah, then why you didn't be a responsible parent and say, look, you don't need 50 pairs of shoes.
20 pair. That is a responsible he could do 20. That's responsible.
20 pairs of sneakers.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
So basically, he has the exact opposite mindset of his father when it comes to work ethic and the appreciation for life.
There have been a lot of disappointing moments in my relationship with Marquise over the past few years.
Son screwed this all up and instead listened to his mom, using the money to open a boutique in Atlanta. And while this did piss 50 Cent off because he wanted his son to do this on his own, you know, not with the help of his mom, he still supported this vision, which ultimately failed due to his laziness.
Sure, Marquise never following up on the sneakers might seem like a small thing. The type of irresponsibility and lack of initiative teenagers and young adults display all the time. But it was a huge disappointment to me. Forget about being able to afford his personal sneaker collection. That online store could have ended up making us both a killing. We had that conversation years ago. Since then, online sneaker sites have become incredibly lucrative. GOAT.com is valued at $550 million, while StockX.com has a $1 billion valuation.